Well, welcome back to the channel. So today's the day. I'm gonna start to put the forks back together on this guy. I got the fork rebuild kit, so the seals, the crush washers, the piston rings, all those good things. So I'll put the forks back together. I'm gonna do my best to keep everything clean. I don't have the best garage here. Dirt floor. Like I said in the last video, the forks have a slight bend to them, but I don't think I can't imagine it's out of spec, but the important part was that when I bought the bike that the forks were bent out of relationship with each other. So that caused some binding as the tubes went up and down. So hopefully now that I know which way the forks bend when I put them back together, I'll do some stiction tests to see if the fork tubes bind. Beyond that, it's just a matter of just putting everything back together. I think the biggest challenge will be getting those piston rings inside the fork tube. It seems to be there's a special tool from BMW, which of course I don't have, so I'll need a little ingenuity and some luck to get that back together. Things aren't going so well. Starting to put the forks back together on the bike and cleaning out the stanchion tubes, or the fork tubes, and cleaning the fork legs. This is the right-hand fork leg. And what I'm discovering is that the tube goes in, sticks. Yeah, that should not be like that at all. Some directions it's worse, but mostly it's just, yeah, should not be doing that. I'm going to put down the right-hand tube and take up the left-hand tube. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Slides right in. And if I look inside, which I don't think I'll even try to get on the camera, the inside of this tube is nice and shiny. And the inside of the other tube has some pretty serious marks on the inside. I looked online. I found sets of these for $500 used. Of course, there's no guarantee that those are good, but I mean, odds are they aren't this bad. I don't have $500 to fix this problem right now. I don't even know if the engine works well. So what I'm going to do is just put it all back together as is. Do my best to find maybe a rotation of this stanchion in the leg that causes it to bind the least, and go work on the carburetors. But yeah, this is I'm not going to say it's a lost cause yet, but it's really looking like it. Of course, the really challenging part is getting these piston rings to fit back into the stanchion tube. So these rings want to sort of pop around, and there's a little edge in there that they want to catch on. I can get the first one just by feel. There it goes. The other ones, of course, I'm not pushing hard this way because I don't want to bend the ring. So I saw one guy in line and he used a screwdriver to try to get the ring started on one side and then push them into the other. Oh my God. And I guess if you're careful it works. Now I can make sure that they're actually set by looking in this oil hole, and I see all three in the groove. So that's great. Huh. Who would have thought? Now I don't have any oil in there, so I'm going to dribble a little oil in because I don't necessarily want to muck this up any more than I have. So it is possible to do it without the special tool. Nice. So both fork tubes are temporarily installed into the yoke. Now I'm going to put the seals in the top of the fork legs, the new seals, and put these on, knowing that I'm going to have to replace this guy at some point, or I don't know if I can get this honed out, but this is what I got and this is what we're going to do. So it's part way in, and then I'll take the old seal and use it to tamp in the new seal. Doesn't really fit, but anyway, this is what I see people do, so that's what I'm going to do. So it's easier to press it in. It's easier to press it in. So I've got the boots in. Only thing up here would be the dust cap. Now in my rebuild kit, I didn't get a new felt, but that's alright. Clean this up the best I can and call it good. I'm going to put a touch of oil on the seal. And that's tube number 1. So for the final assembly here, there's the crush washer, and because I've mounted this, crush washer is not going to stay. So I was going to put a touch of axle grease on it just to help hold it. Just enough to keep it sticky. And then I'm just going to lightly put this together. Okay, so I have the forks reassembled with new seals, new crush washers, new bottom cap washers. I put fluid in them, and the fender brace bolts are loose, and the axle is loose. It's just sitting in there. So if I move them together, it's pretty hard to move them. I'm going to, I guess, undo one side, see if one side's easier than the other. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But it's very difficult to move these. There's no springs in them. Just the fluid. And they move and they don't stick, but they're not great. I don't know. I don't know enough. But I think they're better. This tube is definitely bent. So seems like a lot of stiction. Is it enough to ride it or to make it at least bounce up and down? I don't know. Is it safe? I don't know. So many things I don't know because of this, but I'm going to put it back together and take it to the RSM, which is the Riders of Southern Maine motorcycle group. They're having a tech day tomorrow, and this is going to be the demo bike because it's the current basket case, and we're going to rebuild the carbs and sync the carbs. So I'm going to finish putting the wheel on, getting the brakes back together, put the springs in and the handlebars, and lower it back down and see if I at least have some up and down action. And I won't know until I ride it when the forks dive, if they stick again. But all the seals have been done. I cleaned everything the best I could. The tube lower leg that was sticking, I cleaned the best I could. I used some brass bristled brushes on the inside just to make sure there wasn't some congealed fork oil that had somehow gummed it up. I used acetone on the inside just to make it as clean as I possibly could before I put it back together. And it's still stuck. So, we'll see. Wish me luck. It's all back together for the most part. It's moving, but it's not very good. Wow, that was a lot of work. End up slightly better? I don't know. Before I couldn't do that. I would do this and it wouldn't move. When I braked hard enough, it would go down, as you saw. It would go down all the way and stay. So now at least it moves up and down. But yeah, it's no good. But I think it's enough to redo the carbs tomorrow, which is where I'll start. As you can see, the forks are still sticking pretty badly. It's better than it was, at least they move somewhat. But this tube is, or this leg, excuse me, this leg, tube, leg. This leg is deformed or it's just so corroded in the inside that it's sticking. I can't really find these at a price that I can afford online. So I think I'm going to get a piston hone. So that's the 3 stones on the little spring-loaded arms that you put in a drill. And I'm going to hone this out until that tube goes as freely as it does on the other side. I don't think a hone's going to take off enough material if I go slowly and if I keep checking it as I go. I don't think it's going to take out enough material where the tube would start to shimmy in the leg. I'm simply just trying to polish it on the inside. And hopefully that does it, which would imply that it wasn't a... If that fixes it, I don't think it was a dent necessarily. It may just be so much corrosion on the inside that caused it. So I'll order a honing tool that'll go on the end of a drill. And next week I'll take this all apart. I'll also order some new, just some generic aluminum crush washers, because I'm going to have to, of course, take this all apart again. But I won't need new seals and I won't need new bumpers. And hopefully that'll solve the fork issue. Tomorrow I'm going to take it to my local motorcycle club's tech day and we'll rebuild the carbs. If you have a second, please subscribe to the channel. That would really help me out and allow me to keep telling this saga of rebuilding this guy, this basket case, this Frankenstein, this bucket of bolts. Wish me luck.